AM 1300 WMEL.
What's going on, everybody? This is Soldier Hard, and welcome to the American Warrior Radio, 1300 on your AM dial, WMEL, and online at 1300WMEL.com, sponsored by AVET Project. Can I live again? I don't even know what's real. It was horrifying life on the battlefield. Seen a lot of soldiers die on the front lines, bombs going off when we drive by. Can I live again? I don't even know what's real. It was horrifying life on the battlefield. Seen a lot of soldiers die on the front lines, bombs going off when we drive by. Yeah, you got questions? Garren and Glenn have answers. Pick up the phone and give them a call. Tell them Soldier I sent you. 321-631-1300.
Good morning. Welcome to American Warrior Radio. This is another exciting edition for you here at the place to be for news, notes, interviews, and current events for all issues military and veteran related. If you or someone you know has ever worn the uniform of the United States Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, or Coast Guard, or the National Guard, or Reserves, you've come to the right place. American Warrior Radio, right here on Talk to Me Station, AM 1300 WMEL, and online worldwide at 1300WMEL.com. Sponsored by AVET Project. Folks, this program is all about supporting our troops and their families, both past and present, so please get comfortable, grab a cup of coffee or whatever you want to drink this morning, and very important, a pencil and paper, because we're going to bring you some information that sometimes has contact information associated with it, so you want to be prepared to be able to go get further information on things that interest you. And with that said, let's roll down the runway and get this show off the ground. I'm Glenn McGuffey, the former manager for 22 years of the Brevard County Veteran Services team, and I'm also retired from the Air Force, but I never do this show alone. I'm going to introduce my co-host here, and he's going to cover a couple of topics. We talked about a couple of them in the past, but it's important to give you an update on that. And then we'll get into some veterans information for you today to keep you up to date on what you need to know. And with that, I'll introduce my co-host, Garren Cohn. Good morning, Garren.
Good morning, Glenn, and everybody out there in American Warrior Radio land. Glenn, I appreciate you taking the lead on this episode. Folks, I'm a little under the weather. I'll freely admit that. But listen, the episode's going to be great because at the bottom of the hour, we've got a colonel, live from Afghanistan. He's going to give us the latest on what's going on over there, Lieutenant Colonel Bob Owen. So don't go anywhere. Now, y'all know me. I'm Garren Cohn. I'm an Air Force veteran, a retired legal advocate for veterans, and founder of AVET Project. As I said, I got like a stomach bug. Maybe some of you folks out there in listening land have it as well. It's not any fun, so I'm going to try and conserve my energy for our interview in the second segment.
And I'm not going to let him breathe on me.
Yeah, right.
I'm keeping away from him. But folks, what Glenn said is important because we've been harping about this regarding property tax exemptions for veterans. Pardon me. I'm so sorry. Listen, Dana Blickley, our property appraiser here in Brevard County, put a wonderful brochure together that you can access online if you have any questions at bcpao.us, Baker Charlie Papa Alpha Oscar.us. Give you all the information there. But key to all this is the deadline, Glenn. What is the deadline?
Yeah, the deadline for putting in for your veteran unique property tax exemptions is 1 March.
And
which has been extended, Garren just informed me this morning, because that falls on a weekend till March 3rd. Mm-hmm. And it's not the day that March 3rd gets here, but it's the end of business on March 3rd. And if you don't apply by then, it won't apply to this coming year's tax if you qualify for an exemption or a discount. So it's very important. We've talked about these discounts and exemptions unique to veterans based on their service. Too long to go into again today. You can call the County Veteran Service Office at 321-633-2012. 633-2012. to get the information, more specific information on this, or go visit your tax collector office. But get all this done before the end of business on March 3rd.
Exactly. You got a week from today before the deadline, extended to Monday, so don't wait. If you think you qualify, go to bcpao.us, check out the information, and do everything else that Glenn said, because that's real money.
Oh, yeah.
Real money, folks.
And the combat-related discount could be sizable for you.
There you go. You don't want to miss out on any of those good opportunities to save some hard-earned cash based on your good and honorable service to our nation.
That's right.
So take advantage of it. Another thing that we really have to push that you take advantage of is our good friends at Telfer, Faraday, Anderson, and Hawkins, in particular, Britta Hawkins and all her crew, Kristen and all the others, with the free legal seminars.
Free. Our favorite word.
Space Coast Community Law School. It's starting on the 6th. What again are some of the titles of the classes that are free?
Some of them are trial process and advocacy, firearms, which always fills up.
That's a fact.
Wills, trust, and probate, very important, especially in Florida, because if you don't have a will, you're going to go to probate, and the state's probably going to get a large chunk of your estate.
We don't need that happening.
Auto accidents from beginning to end, I hope that never applies to you, but certainly you need the knowledge in case that might happen.
And there's been some big changes. I'll throw this out. A good friend of the program and AVET project, Dr. Lance Armstrong, with Armstrong Chiropractic right there in Cocoa Beach, made mention to me some months ago that the Florida legislature changed the rules behind how much time you have to go seek medical care.
Yeah, and you may have seen it on TV. I see not Lance, but another local chiropractor comes on from time to time with an ad to remind you that you have 14 days. 14
2 weeks.
days. And you know, as John Morgan's ad says, and who do you think put this together? The insurance company. 14 days to put your claim in, or you're
out of luck.
Out of luck, yeah.
You're not going to get any
Trying
money.
to be polite there.
Yeah, well, yeah. SOL.
Yeah.
Sort of out of luck. No, it's worse than that. You're out of luck.
Yeah, exactly.
Go to SCCLS, Sierra Charlie Charlie Lima Sierra.com and register for these.
Yeah, or call 321-269-6833. That's 269-6833, and especially for one like the firearms, if you're wanting to go to that one, you better enroll, because they always fill that puppy up.
That's a fact, and you know the Brevard Bar Foundation is behind this, but Britta Hawkins and her crew do such a phenomenal job, and it's free. You get a binder. It's just a great opportunity to learn from the experts. At least most of them are expert. Glenn was on the pinch hitters list last year and came in as an expert on veterans pension laws and did a fine job. You'll probably catch it on the fall term.
That'll be fine. I enjoy that.
Another thing I got to get out there, because at AVET Project and American Warrior Radio and through our Facebook and other social media platforms and even email, we're constantly getting bombarded with questions, with requests for assistance from veterans out there and active duty folks regarding legal matters. Not necessarily just VA claim-related matters, but legal matters, whether it's a domestic situation, whether it's getting riffed by the service.
Yeah, and this sort of helps in the questions we used to get when I was a manager of the Veteran Services team for the county, and that's that I get a lot of questions. People call and say, does the VA provide me a lawyer?
Oh.
Yeah, not
For
going to
this,
happen.
that, and the other. No, I'm sorry, that just, that doesn't happen. But we've got free
That's right.
legal services that could be available for you if you meet income criteria. So, and I don't know exactly what those are. It's better to contact them and let them go through the process with you and see if they can provide the help. It's Community Legal Services of Mid-Florida, and again, this is another place where you need the paper and pencil ready. And the phone number for them, well, I don't want to give that phone number
This one here in Brevard's
Yeah.
good.
For Brevard, I knew there was a Brevard one. 866-469-7444. 866-469-7444. And that's for, again, Community Legal Services of Mid-Florida. And they provide legal help with all types and manner of VA issues, including appeals, indebtedness. They also provide help looking at their list on Social Security disability claims and many others that you need legal help for, and it's free.
Can't beat the
free
price.
service by some of the good folks out there in our legal communities helping out veterans, just like Britta's putting on that program with all
That's
the
right.
great information. And at these people, they're going to provide you help based on the grant that they got for 2 or 3 years that I know of.
Exactly.
And so give them a call if you're needing a lawyer for anything, and let them see if they can provide the help. That's the best thing to do.
Exactly. And I want to mention, just harping back onto this tax abatement or exemptions again, AVET Project operates in a couple other states as well. We're incorporated here in Florida, but we have charity registrations here, Oregon, Texas, California. In Oregon, the Oregon Department of Veterans Affairs newsletter that, of course, we get because we operate our care package program and the PR&R retreats out of Oregon. They have a similar program for property tax exemptions, but I want all you veterans out there and survivors of veterans, anybody that's eligible and qualified to receive the benefit, to know how generous that Florida's exemption laws are. They're really generous.
They are. I've seen maybe, off the top of my head, one other state that had maybe a more generous, to use that term, law, and that was up in Massachusetts. There were lower qualifications and higher exemption possibilities for veterans. But other than that, Florida's
Pretty
running
good.
a strong second there, and that's great for us veterans.
Exactly. If you're in Oregon, you've got deadlines that you have to meet, and you definitely want to claim every exemption you can get, folks. I don't care if you're in Washington, wherever you're at, get a hold of your property tax appraiser and say, hey, I'm an honorably discharged veteran. Maybe you have a disability, maybe you don't. Check and see if they've got an exemption for you.
Yeah, they'll go through it with you.
Exactly.
And
Doesn't hurt to ask.
And also let you know what kind of supporting evidence you need to have, and you're going, as part of the process, you're going to have to go to the county service office to get a letter that confirms your eligibility for whichever one or more that you might be eligible for. And again, they're out in the government center out in Vieira in Bravo building on the first floor, and they can be reached again at 633-2012. But start with the property tax appraiser's office, because they're going to get into the picture anyway. So
you got some other stuff here.
yeah, let's roll along and talk about a rollout of Secure Veterans Health Identification Card. For those of you who are enrolled in the VA clinic and get your health care from the VA, you've got a card that has your picture on it, and it's kind of looks like a credit card with your picture on it. It's a hard plastic card, just like your credit cards are. And that has a lot of information on it that unfortunately may be easy to pluck from with an application I've heard of out there.
I have to tell you, it was a news broadcast over in the Tampa-St. Pete area where one of the reporters walked up to some vets, I think they're American Legion guys, having a meeting outside at a park, and said, "Can I see your VA ID card?" And then she asked, "Do you believe I can get your Social Security number off this card?" And the man looked at it and says, "No, it's not on there." He set the card down, that black magnetic strip on the back of the card, in a second.
Encoded right there.
Yep, she had his Social Security number. So based on that and other obvious complaints, they've done something.
Yeah, and this is starting right away. It's going to the initial rollout is going to be right now until 1 April, and that's going to be for new people enrolling in the VA healthcare system. They'll be issued this new card, and for the people who already have a card, starting in April, they'll go through and phase by phase and get them reissued this new card. And this card, in addition to protecting your security by not being able to gain access to your Social Security number, it will have a new Veterans Member ID card or number, which will replace your Social Security number. So if somebody hacks into that, all they're getting is a number that's meaningless to them.
Randomly assigned or something
Exactly.
by the VA.
And then...
Such as in the past. Difference between your generation and mine. My VA claim number says CSS, which is it's
claim
my
Social
number.
Security, yeah.
Now you have a C number, which refers to some other number. What was that?
Yeah,
Your old service number.
that was your old service number, exactly.
They just took the SN away and put a C in front of it.
Yeah, and I've only run into 2 cases where there was somehow the military issued duplicate service numbers, and 2 people had the same C number, and
I've seen that in my practice.
can mess you up when they start doing claims and pull out the wrong claim folder and don't look carefully to match the name up with that.
So what they're doing is assigning an arbitrary number that, whether you access it or not through the new RFID chip or whatever they're putting in the cards,
Right.
you're not going to be able to get any of the vest information. But weren't they going to focus on including some other information on the card for...
Yeah, the ultimate goal of this many years ago, and they're a little behind the power curve on this. They
No,
must
not
be,
the VA.
They must be contracting the same people building the hospital. But the ultimate goal here is this is going to be a medical card that, of course, you carry it at all times in your wallet. And if you were visiting up north in Maryland or somewhere and you needed to go get VA medical care, you're enrolled in the VA medical care system, that card, rather than them trying to call down here and get all your information off the phone or send an email and get it or fax and get it that way, the card would contain much of your important medical information, your treatment information, what your service connected for, what percentages they are, what kind of treatment regimes you have going now, what medicine are you on now, and those kind of things at an instant touch there. And that's the ultimate goal. Right now it's to get phase 1 of that, if you will, towards that ultimate goal.
Well, I like the idea. It's a good plan, and it's definitely overdue.
Yeah, and if, again, they're going to start this until 1 April. They're just going to issue them to the new enrollees, so don't get anxious. Starting April, they'll get to you and send you a letter and ask you to come in and get the new card. They can't handle all of you one day.
No, it's not going to happen. And I'm sure that for you folks that are local here, having experienced some trouble out at the local VA in Viera where it says ID card computers are section closed, they're probably doing those upgrades.
I'm sure that's true.
That'd be my guess. So just be patient. Be patient.
And they still continue to have a heavy workload of new enrollees out there.
Oh
so.
yeah, it's gonna.
And that's going to get phenomenally worse,
busier,
if you will.
yeah.
I didn't want to say worse, but it's going to get busier.
Yeah.
As we draw down from Afghanistan, and the troops, particularly reservists and stuff, return back and aren't subject to being sent back there again, and will have time to pursue claims. And of course, there's more people injured that way because the longer we're there, the more we have disabled veterans from combat theaters.
It's a very good point, though. The guardsmen and the reservists make up such a, they call them an augmentee to the active duty forces, but when you're looking at 4 out of 10 people are guard or reserve, that's more than an augmentee.
Well, yeah, they've kind of exceeded their backup goal that they were formed for long ago, especially when they have multiple tours to Afghanistan. So we want to roll on.
Go ahead.
Continuing the roll on, we're going to roll on and remind you the VA is building a new cemetery in Brevard County.
Finally.
Yeah. And it's going to be up near Scottsmoor, and they finally picked a name. They came out about a year or so ago and asked for the commissioners to solicit names and for us to go out and solicit names, and we sent letters to the veterans organizations and all that, give them a chance to submit directly to the National Cemetery Organization in Washington, suggested names.
And just so you all know, Glenn handled the bulk of that load, getting those questionnaires out.
Yeah, pretty much 99 and 100%. But that's okay. That's what I'm there for. And so they've come out with a name, and this has to be picked by the Secretary of the VA. They can make suggestions to a staff work up there and say, here's why we recommend this, and here were the top 3, and, typical staff work. And it's going to be the Cape Canaveral National Cemetery. And again, that's going to be located up in Scottsmore. So it's going to ultimately be a 318-acre parcel located close to US 1 up near Scottsmore, about 2 miles off the interstate. So
fairly convenient.
Fairly convenient, and it's going to be a beautiful place. I attended a briefing where they showed what it's going to look like, and they're going to open it in sections, and the first section is going to start soon, and looking at initial opening for burial somewhere in the middle of 2015, the middle of next year.
Excellent.
And a reminder, you cannot make a reservation to be buried in a VA National Cemetery.
You just go and when your loved one passes
at the time
away.
of need, your funeral home, if that's your desire, will contact them and make all the arrangements. So, all right. Well, we seems like we got a person on hold here.
Yes, we do. We have Jeff Brown from Cop Out Outdoor Adventures, who's got some news to share with the listeners right now. Jeff, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
How you doing? I guess maybe you've been listening, and I'm a little under the weather, and I need to get well before tomorrow. That's for sure. What's going on tomorrow?
Yeah, you do. Well, we've got looks like 7 boats lined up over there at Blue Point in Cape Canaveral, and I think you're bringing 14 service folks out there. We're going to stick them all in boats and take them out and let them have a great day on the water. Enjoy a day of fishing and stuff.
Oh yeah, hopefully we can catch some great fish, but I know we're going to have a blast regardless. What's the weather like? What are you predicting?
It's actually going to be pretty good. Should be good and sunny. A little bit of light wind. Possibility of some rain, but it's only 30%. That's pretty normal in Florida. It's an everyday occasion.
Yeah.
But I think we've been blessed, and we're going to have some really good weather and be able to do some really good fish. We've got different kinds of boats. Some flats boats, some offshore boats. So it'll be different types of fishing that anybody that wants a particular type of fishing can hook up with those guys. We'll probably put 2, maybe 3 vets in each boat. I know y'all are bringing their lunches. Blue Point's Marina is kicking in with some gas and ice and that kind of stuff. So we should be good to go. The only hurdle we have in the morning is we want to make sure the guys and the girls that come out, if they're active duty or disabled, that they bring their paperwork in the event that we get a license check or something. So they're exempt from having to have a fishing license. Anybody else, I'll put the license in the bowling for them if we need to.
Outstanding. Well, again, that's Jeff Brown from Cop Out Outdoor Adventures, and we're going to have a debrief on this after the event. But thanks for calling in, Jeff. We'll see you tomorrow, and we'll talk with you soon.
All right,
Yeah.
You bet.
We're going to be back with our guest from Afghanistan in just a moment. Stick with us. Don't go anywhere.